Good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, February 8th, 2024, 6 p.m. to order. I would like to invite Terry Arnold with the Pentecostals of East Ridge to come forward. As he does, I would like to congratulate him on a retirement celebration he had for 30 years of service, 27 of those here in East Ridge. And also like to congratulate Bishop Arnold for his transition from his previous role as pastor to a bishop status.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much.
If everyone will stand for the invocation and pledge.
Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight very humbly, asking you to come and be in the middle of this meeting tonight. May your presence touch every heart. May our minds, Lord, and the deliberations, Lord, be for the glory of God and for the good of our city. We ask you, Lord, to touch every leader. We thank you for our leadership tonight, and we ask your blessings upon them and their family. And we ask you, Lord, to continue to bless the city of East Ridge. Bless our police department, Lord, our first responders, our fire department. Lord, those that may be sick and shut in tonight and not able to take care of themselves, we ask you, Lord, to give them strength. Be with our city, we pray, and all that is said and done tonight for the glory of God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Mayor Williams,
Here.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Here.
Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Tyler.
Here.
Councilmember Witt. City Manager Miller.
Here.
City Attorney Litchford.
Here.
All right. The first item we have is our consent agenda. Assume everyone has an opportunity to review the minutes of the January 25th, 2023 council meeting, the approval of the December 2023 financial report, and the declaration of surplus property from the Parks and Rec. I will entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion, corrections? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Consent agenda approved. We'll move to the next item, communications from citizens. This is an opportunity for any citizen to come forward and address the council with any questions, concerns, or accolades. We don't have anybody signed in, but if there's anyone in the audience that would like to come forward, now is your time, and you'll have up to 5 minutes. I don't see anyone, so we'll move on to the next item, communications from council members. I'll start on this side. Councilmember Cagle.
No, sir, I have nothing.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
I have nothing at this time.
Councilmember Tyler.
Nothing this time.
Not that lucky with me. First of all, let's remember the Witt family. I think they've had a little bit under the weather. I think they're getting Councilmember Witt's a little bit better, but I think she needed a little more time. So keep them in your thoughts and your prayers. I wanted to mention also East Ridge City Library. It's ending soon. Their 2024 Adult Winter Reading Challenge. Remember, 5 minimum books for the grand prize, and that drawing is going to be on the 23rd of February. East Ridge Community Center. Senior Fitness is held Monday through Friday with the walk beginning at 9 a.m. and workout classes at 10. It's 55 and up. For more information, contact Hannah at the Community Center, 423-486-2034. And then I usually run through these. The spring sports registration is underway. January 1st through February 23rd is soccer, age U4 through U19. And we've got registration from the 1st of January through the 1st of March for T-ball, baseball, and softball. And then registration is January 1st through March 8th for adult softball. Then something new, I think, is coming is the East Ridge Friday Night Lights. So flag football. So high interest in this. So they're going to start off Offering flag football twice a year, spring and fall, the league will allow kids to be able to play their sports and not interfere with any of their other schedules. Registration is February 1st through March 23rd. $65 per kid, includes shirt and flag belt. Grades are kindergarten through 6th. Season will run from April 5th through May 17th, 6-game season with a end-of-season tournament. And of course, the games will be on Friday night. Any questions, reach out to Avery at the park. They're 423-710-6100. That's all I have at this time, so I'll hand it off to, I know it's short, but to Mr. Miller.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, Council. Just a couple items, give you a progress update report on the Ringgold Road. We finally had, the past 2 weeks, we've had some fair weather. They got a lot done out there. Last week, Tally Construction poured and finished the concrete work for the sidewalks on the north side of Ringgold between McBrien and Boyd. And they also were out there the Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday filling that void between the curb and the sidewalk with dirt and seeding it. So we've got that part moving forward. Next week they'll be moving ahead between Boyd and Dover, and then filling the space between the curb and the sidewalk, and then thereafter going that area, pouring the sidewalk between Dover and Cross Path Church. Unfortunately, we've got rain scheduled for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the next 4 or so days. So our good weather for the past 2 weeks is going to turn into February weather. So we're doing the best we can out there. Tally also started late last week and this week in installing the retaining wall on the north side of Ringgold Road, just west of Harper Motorsports. So they got the drainage in, they're building a wall now. So if we can keep getting some decent weather, we can keep getting them out there and showing us that get some progress done. Just an announcement, McBrien Road resurfacing. We are looking at a start date of March 1st, 2024. That will be resurfaced from just south of Terrace to Ringgold Road. That whole area will be milled and resurfaced. It needs it bad. So that's one that we've been working on for several years. That is a state project doing it on a major collector road in the city of East Ridge. Next year, we hope to get John Ross Road done from Ringgold Road south to the city limits, where we meet the city limits with Chattanooga. I've been out watching over the East Ridge Animal Shelter. We've really had some delays on that project due to weather and due to rain. Unfortunately, the composition of the soil out there tends to be more towards Georgia clay, and when it rains hard and puddles, that puddle doesn't percolate into the ground for at least a day or so. So we hopefully today finish pouring the footings. Next week we hopefully get involved with the installation of the plumbing, and then thereafter pouring the floor. Again, we've got 4 days of rain. If we can manage to see a little sunshine, or at least a stoppage of rain between the clouds, would be helpful for us. They are also yesterday started the installation of the storm drain lines on the west side of the building. It's going slow, but once we can get the plumbing in and the concrete floor in, then the rest of the building should go up pretty quickly. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll move to old business. Item A, ordinance number 1201.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the city of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 12 Sheridan Road, tax map number 156E-A-005 from R1 Residential District to R3 Residential Apartment District.
Thank you, sir. This is the second and final reading. Mr. Howell?
Yes, Mayor and Council, just to recap this request to rezone will be able to use an existing quadruplex that once was a legal use when the property was zoned urban residential. The quadruplex lost its legal nonconforming status due to being vacant for more than 180 days.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1201.
Motion to approve ordinance number 1201.
Do I have a second? A second the motion. All right, so we have a motion by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Mayor Williams. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. Last week, the last council meeting, I asked a question about the other building that was on the piece of property, and I was told it was a two-car garage. Okay. Well, since then, I've looked it up on Gulo, and this used to be a house, folks. Matter of fact, it still is. Still can be used as a house. They have went out here and they have boxed this bottom end to cover up a set of windows down here at the bottom and up here on the front, where they boxed this front end to make it look like an old garage door. The sheeting on this picture is not going high enough, and you can still see the windows on the front, okay? So here is what they've done, what the front looks like now, since they boxed it up, when they put this piece of sheeting over it. Here is the windows and everything that they just sheeted over. Then over here, you can't see the rails, but there's some rails right here that go up the back side of the building, okay? And on the back side of the building, there is a doorway to go into the bottom side of the building. But these stairways go up to this back door up on the upper level, and you can see where there's been a porch right here that they have tore off, and the part of the rails are still right here. So to me, this is still usable for a house. And I know they said that they were going to use it for two-car parking, but this bottom down here, you can see where the slab is, where it's never been used as a garage. It's always been used as, to me, I'm gonna call it a duplex because it's got entrances to the top and to the bottom, stairways coming from up here down. And if they use this up here as a garage entrance, then it is so close to the edge of the road. And I hadn't got on the road situation. I don't know how many people know about Laurel up there, but it is a road that, matter of fact, I was up there today and there's one car parked on the side of the road and it was out there, and I went down to the dead end. It looked like there's about 6 or 8 parking spots where they went in there and widened Laurel and put asphalt in and just striped it. I tried to turn around in there, but the back end of my car was still stuck out into Laurel. And I don't know how the garbage truck gets up there to pick up the garbage on that dead end. So the garbage truck is gonna be an issue, especially if they put their garbage out up on Laurel, which I don't think they will. They'll probably carry it down to Sheraton. But this right here upsets me because this is just a 19,000 square foot lot. And we're gonna put let them go ahead and come back and put a quadruplex on this thing, which is gonna require, the way Hal and I have already discussed this, the RPA says, when it's rezoned, when it's zoned R3, you got to have 10,000 square foot plus 2, plus 2, plus 2 for each additional unit. That means, in my book, because this is supposed to be come in and renovated to a brand-new building, so I'm looking at them to have 16,000 square foot by us rezoning it R3. And there's another problem with R3 zoning. When you zone R3, you're opening up for vacation, short-term vacation rentals. And, but I just have a problem with this right here. I was being told this was a 2-car garage. And the drawings I've got here, I can't tell well, what road on it, how it's going to be used or anything, but this is what's standing up there today. So,
Would it be possible to hear from the applicant or the representative about this matter?
Yeah, I mean, I can touch on a little bit of that if you guys would like me to as well, after Alan speaks on it.
Good evening, Council. Alan Jones of Stone Creek Consulting. You're correct. Right now, the house is, that building is not being used as a garage. It's being, I guess, at one point in the past, it had been enclosed. According to the developer and then the property owner, they are looking to convert that to a garage so that we can have the parking counts. We're not building a new building, it's just renovating the existing quadruplexes on the site. So that would not be part of the residence, that would be converted to a garage facility.
Okay, so you're gonna put, let me find that picture over here where you got your parking brought out. Well. Okay. Up on Laurel, you've got 1, 2 parking lots that are angling in, and it looks like the cars are probably gonna be, the bumpers of the cars or long pickup trucks gonna be sticking out into Laurel Wood.
The one that's coming up from Laurel is is at an upper elevation, and then the two that are coming in perpendicular to it, that's actually at a lower
Yeah,
elevation.
like this.
So they're coming underneath each other. That's why we're able to get 3 cars in there, because we're gonna have 1 on the upper level and then 2 on the lower level once you drive
Well-
down into the site.
Well, I'm looking at 1 on the lower level here.
Yes,
All right, and then I'm looking at 2 on the upper level, up there
there's
next
2
to
on the
road.
lower level, 1 on the upper level within the
Well-
building. And they've already had their contractor look at it to figure out how we can structurally and you know, from a building
And
safety
then you're looking
standpoint.
at putting 3 parking spots inside this.
Now if you want to answer the
I
question
was just
on
going to elaborate on, so the beauty of the legal nonconforming is whatever that existing garage dwelling was at one point can no longer be used as that. Same as what we're looking, or the applicant's looking for to rezone tonight. That, if it was a dwelling, there's still a lot of parcels in East Ridge that have 2 single-family dwellings on them. And that's where we come in the legal nonconforming status. You know, if something were to happen to that, you know, dwelling, one of those dwellings that burnt per se, you can never be built back. So with this legal nonconforming, this can never be used as a dwelling. It would have to be used as a garage at this point.
or torn down.
Or torn down, absolutely.
Y'all be able to be considering tearing it down because of looking at this picture right here. There's plenty of room down there. I'd probably put 4 right here and then over here in this other spot be 5 parking spots.
Sure. Yeah, you know, and the developer working with, and the property owner working with the contractor, they're pretty confident they can convert this. But if they can get more parking spaces and remove that building, then that's an option they may consider once they get into that land disturbance permit process.
Cause that would get them off of Laurel up there.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and from a zoning standpoint, you know, this is the council figuring out, is this an appropriate use to take it legal non-conforming and make it conforming? And then getting into the details of where every single parking space goes to, that's when, you know, that will go into the land disturbance permit process. And we'll figure out, you know, right now they believe they can use that building as a garage, but if it makes more sense to tear it down and get a few more surface parking spaces, then that could be a route they would take as well.
I have one other problem. I noticed up there on the day that number 12 Sheridan, the big rock house, I call it, stucco rock house. Rock front, all the way around it, yeah, okay. The house didn't have no,
That's this site.
that's number 12 Sheridan, yes, sir?
Yes.
Okay. I noticed it didn't have no downspouts, no gutterings on it, okay, and where the water had been running off of it. I'm worried about, of course, I've seen some pictures where they've been inside cutting sheet rock and being sure there wasn't nothing else in there, but I'm worried about behind that.
Sure.
Because all that water's been running down through there, well, you can see where it's been running.
Absolutely. When the owner goes through the building permit process, you know, they'll be looking at upgrading the whole project, not just the interior, but also making sure the exterior, whether it be gutters and properly handling the stormwater.
Well, it may not be the stone masonry that's on the thing now, it might just go to vinyl or something, all that be torn
Oh,
off.
the stone's gonna stay where it is.
Oh, the
The
stone's
stone
gonna-
facade's,
okay.
yeah, the stone facade's beautiful, I think. So I think, you know, that will be remaining on the house structure.
About the damage behind it by all that water that's been running off for all these years.
Oh, on the interior? Yeah, and that's where the contractor will have to
Yeah,
just dive in, and if they have to gut the property, they have to gut the property. But the structure is sound, and, you know, they'll have to do an interior rebuild to make sure.
what I seen on things that I were looking at today, the two befores and everything seemed to be in the attic with the ceiling, and it was,
Yeah.
that all that was, but
I'm not a residential home builder. I handle the zoning and the sites and the exterior of the site, but the developer and the property owner has been working with the contractor to get plans together. But waiting on this part of the process to be able to submit that to the city for their review from a building code standpoint.
do you know if they've addressed the water runoff?
Or,
Gonna be coming from the top up here where you decide to put the parking?
I mean, they'll evaluate, because right now it's already handled, because we're not adding additional impervious areas to the property. Now if we tear the building down and modify the parking place, then we'll need to submit how we handle that additional change to the land. But right now, we're not modifying the land. We're able to use the existing non-pervious footprints to handle the parking.
We can be assured this is not gonna be used as a home, it's gonna be either
I
tore
think the
down.
guy next door to me will ensure it won't be used as a home.
It can't be used as a home.
Say it can, it has been.
It has been in the past, yeah, as
Yeah.
a legal, a non-conforming structure, absolutely. And at that point, 16 years ago, before this thing became vacant, it was legal at that point. It's lost its conformity. Everything on that lot has lost its conformity.
Any other questions?
No, I think Councilman Cagle covered it for me.
All right,
Thank you for your time, Alan.
You're welcome, thank you.
thank you. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
No,
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Ordinance 1201 approved. Second and final reading. We'll move to item B, ordinance number 1202.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to establish an updated occupational safety and health program plan, devise rules and regulations, and to provide for a safety director and the implementation of such program plan.
Yes, Deputy Chief.
Yes, Mayor, Council, this is an update to our existing plan, just to become, to conform to TEMA's regulation that we updated every 7 years, or as we have major changes.
Thank you, sir. All right, council, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1202.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 1202.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
yes,
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, ordinance number 1202 approved. Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. We'll move to item C, ordinance number 1203.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the fiscal year 2024 operating budget, ordinance number 1186, by changing the revenues and expenditures of various funds.
This will be second and final reading. Ms. Qualls?
There's been no changes between first and second reading.
All right. Council, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1203.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 1203.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
yes,
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, ordinance number 1203 approved and passed. Second final reading. We'll move to new business. Item number A, resolution number 3508.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council approving the Small Cities Coalition Interlocal Cooperative Agreement for retention and compensation of a government relations and communication strategist professional.
Mr. Miller?
Thank you. The cities of Collegedale, East Ridge, Lakeside, Red Bank, Saudi Daisy, and Lookout Mountain band together back in 2015 to form what is called the Small Cities Coalition. This was for the purpose of working together on legislative issues and other matters that were common to all of us. Little cities kind of going up against the city of Chattanooga and Hamilton County. We band together, we could become a force to some degree. This was The agreement goes back to 2015. We have updated portions of it. We were hoping to bring in the town of Signal Mountain, however, that has not been able to occur. We've been trying my first round here and now second round, but apparently they're in the midst now looking for a city manager, so I think that's probably their priority other than joining the Small Cities Coalition. Anyway, it has evolved over the years, with, predominantly because of our communications strategist, Bridget Raper. She's been on board since 2017. We've all worked with her, know her competencies, her capabilities. She's a great individual, works hard. She works with the city in regard to press releases, media alerts, public affairs, promoting for community events, marketing your new business openings. She's done an awful lot for the city. She's there. Right now, she is watching over legislative bills as well as our lobbyists as it affects our cities, as well as the moves that Hamilton County looks at getting involved with that could affect the small in the present and in the future. Total cost of communications strategist this year is going to come to about $150,100. That includes your salary, your insurances, your retirement vehicle, travel expenses, and cost of living. East Ridge's share comes out to about $30,000, just over $30,000. The four larger cities pay 20% of the total cost, and the two smaller cities being Lakeside and, Lookout Mountain pay 10%. If Signal Mountain were to join, then our amount would be reduced accordingly. So, this is before you for your consideration for approval.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3508.
I make a motion to approve resolution 3508.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion?
Have we reached out to the city of Ridgeside about this?
Yes, we have. Ridgeside, at this time, has basically said that they don't want to pay to be a member.
Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes,
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3508 approved. We'll move to item B, resolution number 3509.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with TWM Inc. for professional traffic engineering services.
Thank you, sir. Miller?
Thank you. We have used from TWM Inc., Steve Meyer, ever since, since 2016 when I came on board the first time, utilized his traffic engineering services. He's done things, worked with the city in regard to the I-75 Ringgold Road reconfiguration project, signalization of traffic signals on Ringgold Road from I-75 to South Seminole. He's working with the city right now under subcontract with ASA Engineering regarding the traffic signals at the new intersection, North Mac Smith Road and Ringgold Road. So what I'm looking at is putting him on retainer as a professional traffic engineering agreement between the city and himself to provide those type of services on a negotiated task order basis, which basically means I'm not going to pay him an hourly. If I need his services, I'll negotiate a fee with him for that service. If that service is over $10,000, then it has to come before the city council.
Thank you, sir. All right, council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3509.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 3509.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
By this being an hourly rate, does it have a plus on it?
No, I'm not going with an hourly rate. If you look at the contract, I crossed that out. Further back, it has this hourly rate Schedule Exhibit B, that's crossed out. I'm going on a negotiated fee basis.
Okay,
I did a negotiated fee basis for the, traffic pole up there in front of, rooms that we're gonna be utilizing for that traffic signal movement under the, Ringgold Road multimodal project. That was done on a negotiated basis.
Any other questions? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
yes,
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3509 approved. We'll move to item C, resolution number 3510.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city to enter into a sponsorship agreement with Academy Sports Plus Outdoors.
Ellis?
Yes, Mayor and Council. The Parks and Rec Department is seeking council's approval to enter into a contract with Academy Sports and Outdoors for the calendar year of February 2nd, 24 through February 1st of 25. This is an annual sponsorship that we've had with Academy for several years. Below kind of gives you some of the highlights. This year, before in the past, we've gotten 2,000. This year, they're giving us 26 because they're not paying for the website anymore. So they've given us that money in lieu of them actually paying for it. We still get a $250 gift card. We did get our packets upped. So I think I got those upped by 10 and 10. Yeah, so 20 extra packets between baseball and softball. I'm going off my memory there, sorry. And then we already have Academy banners at our fields. We already have their marketing material on our website from last year. So we are just seeking council's approval to continue our relationship with them. And we also get 2 nights, and that we actually get more than that. They send us shopping event flyers all the time to give parents money off of different sales things that they have, but we actually get 2 league nights there too.
Awesome, thank you. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3510.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3510.
A motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
yes,
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution 3510 approved. We'll move to item D, resolution number 3511.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city to enter into a sponsorship agreement. Excuse me. Mark that one out. All right. A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the city manager to approve change order request number 3 from Tally Construction, Inc. in regard to the Ringgold Road multimodal roadway project.
Sir.
Okay, thank you. Tally Construction and the City of East Ridge entered into a contract back in April 2022 for the construction of Ringgold Road multimodal. That's what we see under construction today. During the bidding, pre-con, planning, and Phase 1 construction, Chattanooga Gas never indicated they were planning on relocating their gas lines. This was prior to me coming on board for the second time, but I was here on February 10th, 2023 at a progress meeting when Chattanooga Gas came right out and said, we need to replace the gas line on the north side of Ringgold Road due to conflicts with the storm sewers. It's the first time I heard of it, first time ASA heard with it, engineering heard of it, first time Tally Construction heard of it. Kind of created a little conflict problem with the scheduling that Tally had already set forth. So Tally experienced delays in their work schedule, and thus they're requesting compensation. And you have that attached, the breakdown attached to your back of the resolution in the amount of $80,973.56. That is being sought by Tally, compensation that needs to be paid by the City of East Ridge because it's our project. And as noted too, we are going to go after and seek recovery of that $80,973.56 from Chattanooga Gas because they're the ones that created the conflicts with the storm drainage and the scheduling that Tally Construction experienced.
Thank you, sir. All right, council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3511.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3511.
A motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion?
One question.
Yes, sir.
At the time, Mr. Miller, that you found out about the gas line problem, was there any mention to the gas company that we might be coming back after reimbursement
Yes, sir.
then? At
Yes,
that
sir.
time,
We
there
put them
was?
on- We put them on notice.
Okay.
Ace Engineer is our CEI on this project, and they have put them on notice.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3511 passed, approved. Well, that is the end of the regular agenda items. The next item is the discussion of the tentative agenda for February 22nd, 2024 council meeting. There would be no old business, but under new business, there is an unnumbered resolution, initial resolution authorizing the assurance of not to exceed $8 million general obligation bonds of the city of East Ridge, Tennessee. You want me to go ahead and do the second one as well, since they're related?
A and B?
Yeah, A
Yes,
and
I'll
B.
touch on those briefly, yes.
Yeah, the next one is an unnumbered resolution, the resolution authorizing the assurance of the general bond, the obligation bonds of the city of East Ridge in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $8 million in one or more series, making provision for the assurance, sale, and payment of said bonds, establishing the term thereof and the disposition of the proceeds therefrom, and providing from the levy of the taxes for the payment of the principal of premium, if any, and interest of the bonds. Yes, sir.
Okay, this bond, not to exceed $8 million, is to fund two major projects. The first one is the multi-purpose pavilion. The breakdown of that is on an email that I have attached to the back of your project. We're looking at a 10,000 square foot facility, ability to seat up to 500 persons. The cost comes out to about $6 billion. Construction was figured at 500 a square foot. And then we have architectural fees at a cost of $371, so I rounded it off to $6.4 million. The second project we're looking at funding would be at Camp Jordan Park, a replacement of field lighting, new lighting for fields 10 and 11, installation of a silicone roofing system over the arena, which we're out to bid at the present time, replacement signage in the front of the arena, replacement 2 compressors at the arena, and updates to the restrooms at the arena to bring them up to ADA standards, and also they do need a facelift, and also for the interior of the arena, depending on how much money we have left over from the projects that I mentioned previously, to the amount of $1.5 million. So we're looking at 1.5 on this project, 6.4 in the other, total 7.9. We round that off to $8 million, or not to exceed $8 million. To fund these two projects. We did a reimbursement resolution back on December 14th, 2023, which declared the city's official intent for reimbursement of certain expenditures for a capital building and park infrastructure project. So we've been spending some of the money on architectural fees, engineering fees, and as well as, I think we did the signage, did we not? The compressors? The compressors are done. Deposits down on the sign. So once we get, we're at the point right now where we're going to really get into the larger type of expenditure. So we're kind of monitoring the market. I will want to introduce John Werner from Cumberland Securities. John, if you want to come up. He's our financial advisor, has been with the city for quite a while, and he's the one we turned to when we started off looking at a bond issue through the Tennessee Municipal Bond Fund. Their fees were like 5.5, 5.75 up to 6, but that was only guaranteed for 5 years. I think we can do a lot better on the open market with John's expertise on that. So John, you want to say a couple words?
Absolutely. The resolutions you have, quite frankly, just talk about The first one, the initial resolution, is the proclamation to the city that you're going to be issuing bonds for these particular projects for an amount not to exceed. The second one goes into more detail as to the way that we're going to do this, which contemplates a competitive public sale. It also defines specifically what the projects that can be funded with these bond proceeds, and then how we go about the process of actually, after the sale, how we go about closing awarding the bonds, closing the bonds, and then the responsibilities of us and the city to complete this transaction. It's very much a straightforward transaction. If you remember, the last time we did this for the city, it was for refunding. Saved about $1 million the last time. I will say that we won't be saving any money on this one. You'll be raising new money, and the rates have gone up a little bit more than what they were back in 2021, but significantly better than what other ones have been discussing with Scott. And more importantly, after the day of the sale, those rates will be locked in through the term of the bond until you pay off the bond or refund it or whatever the case might be. So those are some assurances I think make good kitchen table economics, as I like to describe it. And right now, we've seen the market become very favorable for issuing public paper since about November.
Thank you, sir. Council, any questions?
Well, I'm kind of confused on the interest rate here.
Okay.
I'm reading here where it says, right here. He mentioned there could be an insurance of $8 million for 20 years with a 10, 12-year fixed rate. On page 1, about the 4th paragraph down, where it starts with Diane Quarles.
It's in, are you reading the initial resolution or the detailed
I don't know what
resolution? Is it the?
This is a copy of the email, I believe.
Oh, this is, yeah,
Okay.
this is your email. he's
Okay,
referring
I'm
to.
sorry, I can't speak to an email, except that possibly that would have been something that, when we were discussing generally what the numbers would be and that sort of thing, once we started determining how much the amortization period was going to be that we were going to use, the amount that we were going to be, the size of the bond size,
Oh, yeah.
and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
that probably then kind of brings down my numbers more to what we are right now as far as the terms and the rates and that sort of thing.
Then in the next sentence, it says,
This is me. This is my memo.
okay, well then, I'm confused with it, so
Okay,
explain the memo.
good, because I am too. Okay, good.
It goes back to November 1st.
Okay.
The market has gotten a little better since that time.
Okay.
What I was saying at that time was, we were looking at the Tennessee Municipal Bond Fund to go through with that one. What they basically mentioned on that one, the only rates they were able to obtain were 5.578 and 6.30 locked in for 5 years. So after 5 years, we would be subject to a variable rate. And that would be for a 20-year term. I don't think that is not something I would want to get into. So when we were talking with John back in, November 1st.
Started around November.
We were looking at $8 million issue for 20 years. John, you mentioned that we could get $8 million for 20 years with a 10 to 12-year fixed rate, at least 10 to 12-year fixed rate between 4.75 and 5%. So if you compare what we could have done at that time versus TML, it would be better for us to go with Cumberland.
All right, but then it says next, a little bit further down, it says with a 7-year call feature.
Yeah.
Okay, the call feature is in 7 years, 8 years, whatever the case we decide to put together when we actually go sell the bonds, the city will have an opportunity to refund this.
Yeah.
Yes, sir,
That's
that
a
is correct.
refunding.
Okay,
It gives us, so if we initiate this bond, we will be between whatever that rate of 4.75, 4.75 and 5% for 7 years, but we can look at we have the opportunity in year 7, if the rates are lower, to look towards refinancing, but we can't refinance before 7 years.
here's a 20-year max, okay.
20-year max.
Had me confused.
That's okay.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Sean, appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Next item is an unnumbered resolution, approval of bids for roofing for Camp Jordan Arena, bid opening February 13th. Yes, Ms. Scholes?
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is to inform you that next Tuesday on the 13th, we will open the bids for the roof project there at Camp Jordan.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, any questions? See none. The next item is another unnumbered resolution, approval for bids for spring, summer sport uniforms for Park and Recreation, bid opening February 13th.
Yes, so also again, next Tuesday on February 13th at 2 o'clock, we will then open our spring and summer uniforms that will continue us through the calendar year.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions, council? I see none. Then the next unnumbered resolution, approval of bids for 2024 street improvements, road servicing, bid opening February 13th. It's a busy day.
Yes, it is. And we're also at 2 o'clock will be opening bids for our street resurfacing program for 2024. Our total estimate on this comes out to about 1.17 million, and we've got 1.778 budgeted in our 2023-2024 fiscal year budget. So hopefully if we come in at a lower cost at 1.719, and we have some extra dollars there, about $60,000, we can add a couple more streets to our listing.
Thanks, sir. Council, any questions? I see none. I'm very excited that we are continuing our resurfacing program, and we was able to increase that this year, and hopefully we can continue increasing that going forward. All right. The next item is an unnumbered resolution, approval of a resolution to protect residential communities. Mr. Litchford?
I can speak on that, Mayor. This is in consultation with City Manager Miller. It was a request to put together a resolution that at least puts something in record for this body that expresses the idea that it likes to protect its residential, single-family residential districts within the city. Obviously, the city is growing, and as this body is being posed with rezoning requests, the idea is to come up with some guidelines, and as I say, there's some tools to questions to ask. One, up here on the dais, or to consider whenever you all are faced with a rezoning for a multi-tenant residential rezoning. And so you've got 1 through 9 considerations, and so those are things that Mr. Miller and I came up with for you all if you want to adopt it, but things to consider when being questioned or posed with the possibility of rezoning into a use that's more intense than what the current existing use is. In this case, we're generally focused on single-family residential R1 zone districts. And so that's what the purpose of this. I want to be clear that this is something that is not does not mandate any particular requirement of voting, and it states in here this is simply a policy tool intended to serve as a decision-making guide for future rezoning requests. So that's what we have here.
Thank you, sir. Council, any questions?
What sort of impact will this have on some of our legal non-conforming zoning that we currently have? I mean, a lot of our rezoning requests are for multifamily are in these legal non-conforming spots, similar to 12 Sheridan.
Right. Well, it won't have an impact on the legal non-conforming ones. Now, if they come up here for rezoning, it's a good guiding policy to look at in connection with determining whether you're going to vote for or against a rezoning. If it's a legal non-conforming use seeking a rezoning to either bring it into conformity, you can still use these as tools to consider, particularly in light of the fact that if it's been used as a legal non-conforming, you know a lot of the impact it's already had on that community. If it's a rezoning for a greater intensity, say from R3 townhomes to, say, C2, then you could still use this as a guiding tool to determine if you feel comfortable with items such as traffic, safety, walking areas, Is it conforming with the community, the synthetic, the optics of the community? But if it's merely like the 12 Sheridan where they want to bring it into conformance of what it's been used for, this is still a good guiding tool. But again, this does not mandate denial of rezoning requests from a particular use to a more intensive. It's just merely a 9-factor items that this body can consider or evaluate with respect to whether it's going to approve or deny a request.
I appreciate all the information, Mr. Litchford.
So the way that I take this is kind of setting an intent of this body that we're wanting to protect and preserve residential communities. Again, it doesn't mandate or put any statute in place. Those will still be coming, but it's kind of the forward-facing of this dais that we want to protect our residential communities.
Yes, I
And gives
like
us some
the-
guidelines.
I like the sentiment behind it, and I think I identify with its tenets. I just want to make sure that it's not having an impact on our legal non-conforming crew
Nope.
out here.
Nope.
Nah, it'd be fine.
Yep, and I'll like it very much well, and that's why I've had several conversations with Mr. Litchford and Mr. Miller, and we wanted to bring this to council and get their thoughts. Any other questions?
And I've got one for Mr. Miller. What's the progress on our rodding machine? The one that cleans out our ditches? And I notice it's still sitting down here, off down in Georgia.
Our
down there.
jet
Yes, sir, our jet.
doesn't
truck.
work.
Well, okay.
It's completely down. It needs to, the pump cannot be replaced because they don't make that pump anymore. So I have, that's gonna be one of the items we have in the budget for 24-25. And I instructed our street superintendent that if we have problems, get the one and borrow from WWTA. I don't wanna put a lot of money in replacing all those pumps in that truck. What we're looking at is a trailer. I don't want the truck anymore. Get a trailer with 2 pumps on the back of it with a large water tank, and we can haul it. That's a lot easier than having it put on the back of a truck. Then I got a truck, and then I've got the pump and everything connected. Get away from that.
Yeah, I've looked online since I've seen it down there, and I've seen the price of used truck pumping all together. They're hundreds.
I know. I would
Then
rather
I-
just
then
go
I've
with a
looked at the trailers, they're anywhere from 30 to 60,000.
right, a
Yeah,
good one
so-
with 2 pumps.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, I'm just wondering what the holdup was.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that
Because we have needed the thing.
I know.
We've got the money in the budget.
It's not budgeted.
Got in that, what'd we call it? What we took 100,000 out of.
Oh,
last week?
well, yeah, we can keep going,
Uh-huh.
or we can keep going after that fund balance and use it for this and that. I can,
Wasn't fund balance, this was something else. What was it called? I'll find it right here.
capital improvement?
Where we took money from each department and put it, yeah. Took money from each department, put in a pool to borrow from. Is what
No.
I look at, the way we done it.
Okay, no, the amount, what we thought we were gonna be able to transfer to the capital improvement plan, we're not gonna be able to transfer
the-
that, so that was how I did the budget this time, is I drew some of that money, because we're not gonna be, I think we had like, what, 2 point something million?
Yeah, we actually, this was on the border region, you're talking about
Yes.
CIP. Yeah, we were, I was projecting over $9 million to come in on the border region this year. We only got 7.2. So that difference had to be reduced from the amount of anticipated transfer from the border region to the capital improvement fund. It went from $2.2 million, we just didn't get it, didn't come in. And the reason we got from the state was simply the sales weren't there. Sales were decreased from last year to this year.
Yeah, I was just looking at it here. It says operating transfer and other funds. We still got over 2 million, so.
I can look at that again. I'm not sure what you're looking at.
I'm looking to
Yeah, the budget.
That's it, I just wondered.
All right. Anyone else? Any other topics or business? I see nothing. Thanks everyone for attending tonight. This meeting is adjourned.